Well, hello, Quest. It's good to see you this week. This is June 10, 2021. The summer is in full go, right? Last night, Diane and I were able to go to the Cardinals game, and we beat the Cleveland Indians 8-2. It's a great night, broke kind of a losing streak, so we're back on the right track, right? We're headed in the right direction, doing the right things. But also here at Quest, getting back on track. We've really been working at it hard, I think, for a long time. This has been quite a journey in trying to rebuild and do what God has really called us to do. And so that's even the theme of our service in our series in our Sunday morning is to rebuild. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. And one of the things we want to rebuild is our area of missions. Now, all of us are on mission all the time. Right? That's what we're called to be all about what Christ wants us to do in the world every day in our lives. Now, it's not supposed to be a performance. It's supposed to be just simply living out the changed person that God has made us and what He's doing in us, that it overflows into our lives and what we do. And so we don't want you to ever be thinking you have to perform. Just be who you are. Be who God has made you to be. And be refreshed and to be rebuilt, even internally, so that we can be on mission. But then churches also have what we call kind of their missions, if you will. And here at Quest, we have a missions team. We have a missions effort. And really those efforts that we do, which we call the Core Five, are designed to be places that we would never expect, never anticipate that it would touch people's lives who would eventually maybe even be a part of the fellowship here at Quest, to be a part of our church. It's too far away. It's not something we'd ever expect. And so I want to bring you up to date a little bit on what those Core Five are. Okay, so the first one is this. It's what we call New City Fellowship, and it is a relationship with a church in the city called New City Fellowship that do all sorts of things. But one of the things they do are projects to help the community. And Mel Brown is our representative, if you will, to New City Fellowship. She has a great heart for it. And people involved in doing ministry with New City Fellowship, usually projects to help improve the situation, to seek the welfare of the city. And it's one of the things that's important to us because we recognize that being kind of in the suburbs, way out here on the edge of St. Louis County, that sometimes we could just ignore the rest of the county or the city itself too. And we don't want to do that. We want to build bridges from county to city. We want to build bridges between what is largely a white population here in West County to a more ethnically diverse population in the city. And we feel like that's important. It's something God's called us to. And so New City Fellowship is one of the efforts that we do to try to build that. So that's the first one of our missions Core Five. The second one is this. It's crisis response. And our crisis response group, which is headed up by Mike Roman, is an effort to reach out along with the Free Church denomination organizationally to reach out to places of crisis, places of often natural disasters, of trying to help. And those have happened all over the country. Often they've happened along the Gulf Coast and on the East Coast, along with hurricanes and great flooding. In California, when they had the great wildfires there, especially in Paradise, California, we want to reach out to these places and put together teams that are able to respond in these crisis response situations. There's great need there. And right now, one of the biggest focus is Lake Charles, Louisiana. And so there'll be a team going there down the road, not very far. We'll let you know more about that. So that's the second thing in our missions team. The third one is a Muslim outreach that we are involved with in Indonesia, in North Africa, and in the Middle East, especially more recently in Lebanon, in trying to reach out to those from Islam that have become discouraged and disillusioned and have been looking for answers to life, and that Christ is that answer. And we want to be involved with what's going on in Muslim outreach. And so that's part of one of the core five. The fourth one is we're involved in Bulgaria, especially and most clearly with Sean and Natalie Key and what they're doing in Bulgaria. They live in Sofia. And so we want to be connected to them because we at Quest wanted to be connected to a post-Christian place. At first we started out in Germany, but now we're more focused on Bulgaria, of wanting to reach out where a place the gospel has come and kind of left. And it's being reinstituted, kind of revived there. And that's part of what Sean and Natalie Key are doing in Bulgaria. And so we're involved in their ministry of wanting to reach out. And it's a great place. Hope that we can put together a team in not the too distant future to go to Bulgaria and be a part of their ministry. It's really a fabulous country and an incredible place. So we look forward to that. So that's our fourth one. And then our fifth of the core five is Haiti. We were looking at first, when Quest started, to be involved in a third world nation, a place that couldn't help itself without getting help from outside. And so we were looking at Africa, but eventually through some contacts, we got connected years ago with Haiti. It's really, in many ways, an African nation that simply is in the Caribbean, and it is one of the most difficult places to minister. It is one of the poorest nations in the world. It's probably the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. It's a place where we wanted to be able to give a cup of cold water to people who needed a cold drink, and that we didn't expect anything back. We just wanted to be involved. And frankly, we have found it to be an incredible privilege to be in Haiti. We partner especially with a ministry called WISH, which stands for West Indies Self-Help. We partner with them to do things not only in their mission and ministry, but in the city of Ansagale on the island of Loganov. And it's an amazing place. It's a place where people are forgotten. It is the poor of the poor. And a particular part of that is one of the poorest places I could ever imagine. And we have had the privilege of being connected there. It's probably the part of our missions team and missions efforts that's blossomed the most. God has, for some reason, blessed it and called our church to be connected there in a profound way. And it's hard for us to describe, and we will bring you up to date on some of the Advent conspiracy projects that we did there this past year, which we've done for many years so far. And we'll bring you up to date soon on those, as one of our people in our church, Steve Hinchin, is there right now, and he'll be returning and bringing back some pictures and some updates on the projects that we've been doing. But we just want you to know that as a church, as a group, as a congregation, when we draw a circle around who we are, we draw a circle that includes New City Fellowship, crisis response, the Muslim outreach in Indonesia, in North Africa, in the Middle East, in Lebanon especially. And we draw it around Bulgaria and Sean and Natalie Key and what's going on there. And we draw that inside that circle, the nation of Haiti, especially this island of Loganov, most especially the city of Ansagale, and the ministry partnership we have with WISH. And these are so important to us as a church. And so we want you to feel that, embrace that, be a part of that. And when we draw that circle around who Quest is, when you do that, include these five. Okay? All right. We'll highlight you other things in another week, but for this week, we wanted to focus on our missions effort around the world. All right. Take care, you guys. Love you. See ya.